Recording in
S-
progress.
There we go. So before we even get started, I had to just give you like a little nod and a little ode. So I'm gonna
With the bliss decks, I love it.
yeah. All right. Yeah. So I'm your Playa Potna host of the Motion Country Cuzzin Sir WinnieDahBish, and this is season 2 of What's Happening with Winnie the podcast. It's something brand new for us, so we're trying out something new. To my right here, I have a beautiful black man who is multifaceted, so I wouldn't want to pigeonhole him by just saying he's an influencer on IG or a golfer or an actor. I would say that he's an activist for a lot of brands and a lot of things that we're going to kind of go over right now. But this is Bradford Wilson at Bradford Wilson Golf on IG. How you doing today, bro?
I'm great, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate you for coming on. We kind of like got into contact with each other after my mental health episode. And that kind of ties into your podcast that you have with your guys, Group Golf Therapy, which I'm a huge fan of. I've like went back and banged out some videos. Man,
Man, thank you.
Yeah. So I want to talk to you about your, like the start of your golf. Where did you like start playing golf, and how like you developed wanting to bring in the mental aspect of conversations to golf?
Man, I've been playing golf since like 12 or 13. I grew up in a town that had a public golf course in it. And instead of football or track or basketball, like what a lot of the kids in that town were doing, or robbing the 7-Eleven, stealing bikes, that kind of
yeah.
that kind of stuff. My like after school activity, I like to run, and I liked to sneak onto the golf course.
Nice.
Kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. I learned very recently that my mom and her siblings also messed around on this exact same golf course, because I live in the same house that my mother and her siblings grew up in. So
Okay.
so the same golf course, like my mom literally has a scar on her forehead from crashing a golf cart with her older brother.
Oh
so
my, that's crazy. Yeah, so full circle right there.
Yes.
Nice.
So I started at that age, went to a church where the leadership also played golf, and
Okay.
we are on this like youth retreat, and I saw them kind of like messing around with the golf club, like during like the downtime. Like I should not really have been where they were, but I was. I saw them hit a golf club. Yes. I saw them hit a golf club. I was like, yo, I can do that. And they're like, come show me. So I did. I grabbed, I think they had like a wedge or something, and I hit the most pure wedge shot I've ever hit in my life. Still to this day, I've not replicated that wedge shot. And that was when I knew like golf is my thing.
Nice.
So I was like 13 years old. I kind of put golf on the back burner in high school because I was a soccer player, and unless you're like, like all conference or all American, like you can't do 2 sports. You can't just be average in 2 sports. I mean, you can, but like
as far as coffee like, out. But yes, it's so true.
Stick to one thing. Be average in 2 sports, but the pressures of high school, especially in the mid 2000s, like, like you got to pick one. So I stuck with soccer. Golf was like a hobby that continued into college, where a lot of folks I knew from like high school years played on this college golf team. It was went to high school in South Jersey, and my college was in like Chester County, borderline Philadelphia. So like very close proximity. So I knew a lot of these guys, and they convinced me to come try out for the golf team. So I did. I made the golf team, played in college. I mean, we can get into it. Like I was harassed and bullied like every day.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it. I want to get into that because like, I was gonna talk about that. Like right now, as a 31-year-old man living in Eugene, going to golf courses, I wouldn't say that I'm like bullied, but the harassment level is definitely there. Even in like up in Portland, like there's like a group of people that I don't even want to give attention to. that like kind of appropriate and steal from the Black community with like our steeds and our energy, but you don't really see Black people out there. So it kind of like it I want to get into that because that's the part of golf that is bullshit in my personal opinion. And I wanted to know like how it was for you, because if I feel like if I was 18, 19 and that happened to me when I started playing golf, I probably wouldn't be playing right now. So like, how did you get back into it after being, you know, fucked around though?
Man, that's a great question, because after I graduated, I completely quit. I got a taste of what it was like to, you know, be brought into the golf community, the golf space in college, where, you know, they're supposed to be the best times of your life. You know, you get to practice every day for free. You get to play these great golf courses. You get to travel. You get to, you get discounts on clubs and bags and merch. Like, I got it all, but at the expense of my like well-being, my enjoyment, my comfortability. I mean, the Tiger Woods jokes were like low-hanging fruit, you know, like, oh, they got a Tiger Woods, you know, like, look out, this is a team to beat.
So was it like your college was the only college that had a Black kid on the team?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, at least the colleges that we competed against. It was Division III.
So it's regional play. Yeah, I understand that, like regional play, so you don't really regional travel too far. Like,
and in southeastern Pennsylvania in the early to mid 2000s, where a lot of the culture still like heavily identified with like Southern Confederate culture, which is a weird,
that's super
kind
weird
of thing. Yeah, I was definitely ostracized and picked on, and, you know, you name it. By my own teammates, by my own coaches, you know, like, it was relentless. So I won't say naturally, but as a lot of us are accustomed to do, we go with it, right? Like we lean into it.
Don't want to go against the grain. Don't want to be because at that point, if you were to speak out, you don't, like, God knows what would have fucking happened.
Right. It would have been social suicide, you know, like, oh, well, he's like the angry Black guy on the team now. He's always got an attitude. He's always going to, like, you know, talk back, or like, is this going to be an issue when we go to Augusta next year? Like, is he going to have something to say then? And like, of course I didn't, you know, like I went along with it. I leaned into the jokes. I did the voices. I did the dances. I did all the shit, because I was like, oh, it's making my white friends laugh, and like, I'm going to keep doing it. But like, that shit weighs heavily on you, you know?
After a while, it does. I went to an all-white high school. So yeah, for sure, definitely it weighs on you a lot to sit and like feel like you have to mute your Blackness to go to school in order to be accepted.
How fucked up is that, dude?
It makes, like, right now, like, I have a biracial daughter, so like I fear that in the city that we live in, that like I was like, I never want her to mute her shit. So yeah, like, dude, rock your curly hair, be Black, be loud, like, be proud of both sides, but like lean into being Black as much as you can in every situation, because like, you know, even like, we're going to be talking about it, but like, it goes hand in hand. Like, golf is definitely not a sport for us. It's not, because I mean, it was
never intended to be for us.
Not at all. And it's just like when white people bring up like, oh, well, you don't really see Black people skiing or snowboarding. It's like, oh, well, it's, you know, it's not for them. You know, it's not easily accessible. Like, bitch, I know people who live in Florida that snowboard all the time right now. So like, you can't tell me that like we can't get it, and you can't tell me it's expensive, because we rock $500 pair of Jordans.
Right.
So we can get the shit if we want.
We can get it if we want to.
It's like the accessibility and like the comfort level for us.
Yes, that is the biggest barrier, I think.
So to go with that, you live in a place that has a Black golf course, Black-owned golf course.
It was historically Black owned. Well, there are two, Chester, Washington, and Maggie Hathaway in Los Angeles, in South Central Los Angeles.
Okay.
I don't believe they are still Black owned. I believe they're Black managed at this point, but I mean, who knows how that goes. So the college shit, man, it led me to quitting. As soon as I graduated, I was like, I'm putting these sticks in the garage, never to be touched again.
Yeah.
I mean, that wasn't the case because I could still walk to the golf course I learned to play on, but I would go by myself. I wasn't hitting up my friends and, trying to get a game going. Like I didn't really like it anymore. I had
You're ashamed golfing.
Yeah. And like, so in school, dealing with all that I was dealing with, I wasn't playing well. After school, after quitting, shame golfing, as you put it, like I wasn't playing well.
Yep.
So I had like a period of time where I was like a really bad golfer. Which, as I think a lot of people who are, will tune into this and follow you and follow me and know about golf enough to know that like, it's no fun when you're bad at golf.
Not at all.
Like
it's already hard enough.
It's hard enough, but it's really, really hard to want to continue, to want to like grow your interest in golf if you fucking suck at it.
Yeah.
And I did. I did.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, now I know that other factors weighed into that, but it was just a bad time. So when I left New Jersey and moved to California, I didn't bring my golf clubs. I was teaching at a school that had interest in starting a golf program, and we only needed 2 players to roster a team. So I mean, I didn't have my clubs. I was like, all right, well, I mean, I only need 2 kids, like whatever. I'll get them tee times to practice and like range balls or whatever. And like, we'll just go compete and it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Those 2 kids quickly turned into like 20. Once the school got wind that like Mr. Wilson was starting a golf program, like they were beating down my door. I had no idea there was this much interest in golf from these young kids. Yeah. So I begged my parents to fly my clubs back out because I was like, well, it looks like, I might be coaching golf. So like I might need my clubs.
Nice.
And being around my kids every day after school. I mean, I was an athletic director, so I was also coaching soccer, flag football, and basketball, but golf was the one I was most
hyped about.
Yeah. So I gave an unequal amount of attention to the golf team.
Very unhealthy love for my golf team.
Yes.
That didn't spread evenly.
To this day, man, I still go up to that course and I'll just like hang out on the range, like hoping that like one of my kids comes by. But
that's crazy. They're just like, Mr. Wilson. Like, yeah, baby.
It'll happen.
That's amazing.
So coaching, I left that job, but they reignited that fire for me to kind of take golf on my own terms and play on my own terms and try and find people in Los Angeles that I connect with. And now I have, the same 4 or 5 guys I'll hit up to play because that's my circle. I feel comfortable. I feel in a much better place mentally with golf that I can play, the way that I was always meant to play.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that's my thing as well, is being free in the game of golf. Like I've only been playing for like 3.5 years. So I still consider myself a very trash golfer. And I will be that way until like I can, figure out, because it's mental for me. It's like I get very frustrated with myself at times on the course. And then that takes away from the joy of hitting a good shot and just like continuously getting those shots together. If I get an 8 putt, who cares? Get the damn ball in the cup.
Right.
But for me, it was like, I think I was forced into football and basketball and track because we didn't have a track or we didn't have a golf team, a swim team, volleyball. I didn't know that those were like men's sports until I came out here to the West Coast and saw it in high school. So it was shocking to me. to even be able to see how golf can be related to brown kids, Black kids. And if we have the accessibility, and you can see with mostly every other sport, we are very good at it.
Yeah.
So if we can put golf clubs in kids' hands and have, excited teachers and excited programs and people who like ignite that fire in them, I think that right there can go great ways into growing the game, not just putting like some hip hop songs on the back of a Xander Shuffle swing.
You saw that too.
Yeah. That right there. I'm like, Jesus, man, this is kind of weird.
Yeah, it's
that. I think that's a nice little segue to where I want to go. I mean, so I don't want to ever mess up anybody's pockets with the things that I say, but I am a very, very, very unadulterated. I'm Black as fuck first, and that's.
Have you seen my content? I don't give a damn, bro. I'm not employed by
anybody.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about you, is like you are very open about wanting to see more true Black golfers in the space of golf right now. Kind of like go in on that, because I didn't know that most of the golfers in the Drake commercial were golfers. I didn't know that they were real golfers until you brought that up. And then I looked them up, and they're dope as fuck.
They're good. Content. They're dope. They know what they're doing. This is how it should always be.
Yeah.
I've worked with two of them before, so I know that they did their homework. I'm over it now, but just so Nike knows, y'all reached out and then the communications went stale. I don't know what happened with that, but I was supposed to be in the shoot. It didn't work out.
Hey,
whatever.
Nike, I mean, Uncle Phil, listen to me, Uncle Phil.
Right?
I'm down here in Eugene. Talk to the man, all
right? All is forgiven. They sent me the pack. I appreciate it. Ben, if you're listening, I appreciate you, bro. Yeah. So the issue that I run into with brands, companies trying to virtue signal, we'll call it that.
Okay.
They're trying to check the box. They're trying to get people of color in their ads so that it looks like they're diverse. We all know what you're doing. We're not dumb. And what ends up looking bad is when you cast a person of color that doesn't golf and they have a horrible swing. It reflects poorly on us as a whole.
Yeah, speak on it.
So that when a golf pro looks at this ad and sees, not even a golf pro, when someone of authority in golf views an ad with a person of color with a horrible swing, that to them confirms their bias that golf was not for people of color.
Exactly.
Because look what happened. We went out and we casted a Black person, and this is what they gave us. No, you casted a model. You casted an actor that looks a certain way that fits your brand or fits your aesthetic. But unfortunately, this person has never touched a golf club.
Yeah.
And it's harmful. It's really harmful. Not only to just like the people of color in golf as a whole, but to me personally, who puts in time and effort into being a good golfer while also, acting is my passion, my hobby, my job, my life, like that's what I do. That's what pays the bills.
Yeah.
So when I'm overlooked for things like that and it ends up going left and you end up with a terrible product as a result, it really sucks. I hate seeing it. It cheapens your brand. It cheapens it cheapens the movement
that you're trying to portray.
Yes, man. Because I think with the horrible lynching of our brother George Floyd last summer, it sparked this civil rights movement. We're in the midst of the civil rights movement right now.
Beautifully. I love it.
And when I see inauthentic performances, inauthentic marketing, inauthentic ads, it cheapens the movement. It cheapens what we can all be doing together in the golf space to move this game along. It just it cheapens it across the board.
It keeps the same mentality everywhere that we see in every genre, that for some reason it's only for, I wouldn't say only, it's very like prevalent in the Black community how we have to have one.
Yeah.
It's one leader. Malcolm X was the leader, or MLK, he passed away. Malcolm X, he passed away. Like, we have to like search and seek for one, instead of understanding that like our power has always come when we've come together and built things together. So Black Active Golf, I love following them. I love following Trap Golf because those are like, at least on the surface, very Black brands, and they focus on trying to get the Black community some type of play, whether it's picking out some memes that we'll talk about, or or actually reposting the Drake commercials, or reposting Cheyenne Woods, or Long Drive Champions and things of that nature. I think it's on us, and we should be behooved to go out and look for actors like yourself to be put in commercials or in ads, because it, like you said, you're a double-edged sword. Like, I'm a good-looking Black actor who happens to be very good at the game of golf, something that you need. PGA, are you listening? So
they are.
Yes, like for your commercials, like these are the type of people you want. So I think the thing that I was drawn to when I started listening to you initially was your activism when it comes to being Black and the trans community and the LGBTQ community. And I don't even know if that was a good segue or anything, but for me, it was very eye-opening, because I thought I was very like, yo, I'm here with you guys. Like, I'm here. But it was moments in the past like month that I have been challenged myself, where I have to sit back and I cry at night, because I'm like, how uneducated was I? How ignorant was I? And I think the biggest one came from watching Dwayne Wade on I Am Athlete, talking about Zia and about how she was 3 when he had the thought, like, what if?
Yeah.
And then 5 years later, at 8, she comes out because she had a teacher who was LGBTQ and was like, gave her the confidence. We don't have the confidence in our community to be able to come out like that. So when we see kids like Lil Nas X get like ostracized by the media for being who he should be, myself, I was like, I like it, but should I like it enough for the Black community? And I think that's where I like fucked myself. And I had my homegirl Renee, so thank you, Renee, for doing this. She called me out. She's like, for you to be as educated as you are, like, what if Penelope came to you? What if your daughter came to you and was like, Daddy, I don't want to date a boy. I want to date girls.
Mm-hmm.
That shit hit me in the chest. And it still is now. Like, I'm happy to talk about this now, but I was afraid at first. Like, I was very ignorant because I was only from one school of thought.
Yeah.
I mean, South side of Chicago, you're raised to, if you're a boy, gangbang, basketball, sell drugs, or you're a hoe. You got to fuck girls. Like, it's one of those. Like, it's nothing really in between. We don't make it anywhere else.
Well,
so where did that sense of activism come from you? And like, was it just seeing a disenfranchised like group of people needing more light shed on the situations that are going on? Because I want to be, I'm very proud to say this. I want to be on the fucking front line in this new wave of civil rights that we have. Yeah. Like, I want to be on the front line, and not just when it comes to waving the Black Lives Matter flag. I want to be there for everybody that's disenfranchised like ourselves. Educate me and people like me on how to take a step further into being an activist.
Well, thank you first for your transparency and sharing your struggles with that.
Oh yeah.
I know that that's not easy. It wasn't easy for me either at first. I think when we're indoctrinated to think one way as a society. You're born, you're assigned your gender, and that is the role you're supposed to fill for the rest of your life. which we know now isn't the case. But it takes, I think you need to be hit in the chest. I think it needs to show up at your front doorstep for it to actually resonate with you. And that's what happened with me. Without outing them, I've got family members who I know struggle with their own identity. I've got family members who struggled within their families when they came out. And it was a conversation between me and my parents in which it ended. It was a shouting match, essentially, because they couldn't understand how someone at the age of 16 could make a decision for themselves and have autonomy and agency over their own bodies to proclaim proudly who they are. And when I felt it, I almost felt like the walls were caving in on me a bit. So I had to lash out. I had to be like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You have known this person since before she was even a thought. You have helped to raise her. You have seen her progression. You've seen how they've treated her at school. You've seen how her parents treat her.
Yeah.
And still this is an issue for you? Like, are you crazy? What if that was me? Let's just pretend it was me. So, I mean, that singular conversation didn't necessarily yield the results that I thought it would. But that was the moment. That was the flip, that the switch that flipped. And I was like, am I an ally now? Like, did I do it? And that was age 20 for me. 31 now. When it came to my front doorstep, that was really when the changes started happening, and it was slow. It was slow as hell, man. Like, it took me moving to Los Angeles from a very small town in New Jersey for my eyes to be opened to what the world is actually like. Like, we can all agree to disagree on, like, beliefs, or like what we think is right or wrong. And you're entitled to your opinion. But the reality of the matter is people live their lives authentically out here in the world. And you can choose to prepare yourself for that or not. But just know that if not, you look like an asshole.
You really do. Yeah. And it's like I think with that statement, with it being to a point where people are getting more comfortable, we're in a day and age and a time now where people are more comfortable coming out saying, like, this is who I've always felt like I am.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna wave the screen a little bit because I just found out that Zoom does the pronouns. So I got to finally put my pronoun on here. And I was very excited for that, because that was a conversation I had with my wife last night. I was like, we're in a day and age where, like, I now go to the stores and I'm like, how are you doing?
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Yes.
Would you like to self-identify for me so we can have a great conversation? I want to respect people in, like, their way. And I don't say it like that, but like, self-identify for me.
Right.
But I'm like, I want to be able to go out in the world and, like, not say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am anymore. And that's dope as fuck. We're in a world where people are cool with being, don't call me him or her. I'm a person. I'm they.
Right.
I'm like, what? I didn't even know that was a thing. Imagine 10 years from now, bro. Like, that's going to be everywhere. And it's not deniable.
Yeah, you're right. It's not deniable. You can't go anywhere now and not see some form of that. I think it's beautiful that we address people as human beings first.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can agree to disagree on, like, gender, pronouns, whatever the case, like, whatever you want to believe in. But boiled down, you're now being forced to address people as human beings first.
Yeah.
And that is really fucking uncomfortable for some people.
Oh, yeah. I know some good old boys who probably hate this world that we live in.
Oh yeah,
fuck them.
Oh yeah, they ain't no kin to me.
They ain't got no blood in my blood, baby.
No,
but being out here in Oregon, I would say the same thing. Being in Oregon, at least on the I-5, I would say the I-5 is very progressive in a sense. Not as much as we would like, but it's certain parts of Portland that are very big, and those are the parts that get like magnified. And that's what I love, because that part of Portland is bringing in more of the proactive people who have children who are like, what are you? Got asked that the other day at Starbucks, and I was like, I'm a man. And the mom was like, we tell him that he can't say yes ma'am, no ma'am, or yes sir to people. Like, he has to ask people their identification. I was like, that is beautiful. Because he's like 3.
Yeah.
This little COVID baby is 3 years old.
Right.
All he knows is a progressive, like, he knows an electric progressive world.
Right.
And that is like light for me, because my daughter's that. Like, so I look at it like, if we can feed this information to these babies, they're the ones who are going to push the agenda forward, because they challenge us in ways that we've never been challenged before. So yeah, it's so great to see the world and the time that we live in, man. Like, I don't know. I think that's the biggest part for me. It's it's big in the Black community, that I think a lot of parents in the Black community are doing it.
Yeah, I'm starting to see more and more of that, which is great. I think Gen Z is on the precipice of something really powerful. And if you're not tapped in with Gen Z on TikTok, you need to be, because they are on it. They are making sure to hold their older siblings and their parents and their aunts and uncles accountable. I think starting at age 3 and working that kind of vocabulary in that early is beautiful, because I think neutrality is safe, right? I can go to Rite Aid and I'm checking out, and they might not be wearing a name tag, but if I'm, talking to my friend and I don't know who this cashier or what this cashier identifies as, they and them are perfectly acceptable pronouns.
Yep.
Like, oh yeah, like I don't know if they want to give me some change for this 5, but I'm gonna ask. Like, how hard is that?
Yeah. It's just like to take us the extra second to think. That's it. Taking that extra second to just like think about what the fuck is going to come out of your mouth, because it's permanent ink that can't be taken back.
Right.
So it's beautiful that I have, this podcast and this platform, and everybody has this platform to be able to go out and speak what they feel like are their truths. But if you're an asshole, keep that shit on mute, or
yes.
private your videos. We don't need to see that. But if you're a progressive person and you feel like you have some things inside of you that kind of boil you up or get you a little riled up, and you're like, I want to speak about this, don't let the fear of what if scare you away from doing it. Because like, this is the perfect time, like you said, like with Gen Z, this is the perfect time for us to actually go out and have people agree with your stance, not necessarily because they agree with you, but because they agree to know that like you are willing and deserving of being seen. Yes. And that's what Oregon has taught me. And like, I thank God I seriously thank God for my wife and for the birth of my daughter, because those two things like kind of like coincided around the same time. And it's kind of like awakened me to seeing things different, because I was straight up the idealistic Southside Chicago kid, like straight up and down. I wanted to be everything that was the Southside Chicago. And being out here, bro, is like when you got like little 5-year-old white kids or little mixed babies, or 55-year-old white women smiling and waving at you, you can't be a gorilla all the time. Right. So you have to adopt a different way of life.
You can't be mad. You can't be angry at your breakfast.
My nigga, no, you can't.
You can't.
Because again, it's just,
you can't be on guard while you're eating your Cheerios. Like,
yeah, just like for like prison styles. And yeah, they make this world more comfortable. And I feel like it's only up to me to go out and try to make the Tennessee and Southside Chicago like more comfortable for those kids to see like, okay, so it's not just basketball that gets me out of here. It can be being a writer, being an actor, being an activist, being the, you know, hell, being a police officer, being a teacher, being a lawyer, those things still need to happen in our communities, because our babies need to see us in every facet that's a leadership role.
Yeah.
So they can aspire to be.
You need that beacon. You need that North Star.
And I think that's what you were to those kids at that school, if from what you were saying.
Man, I hope so. Some of them still follow me on Instagram, which is nice. they tap in with me, which is cool. I know we're probably moving in another direction, but I would be remiss not to mention my partner, who has been an integral part in taking the little baby woke Bradford that I was at age 26 and completely, I feel like a Pikachu that's evolved into Raichu. Like I finally did it. Like I was a baby ally, baby activist, and now I'm ready to Kamehameha every fucking bigot
as you should
that I see. You know, like she's been so important in my life for many, many reasons, in many ways, and she's shown up for me in every way. But one of the things I'm most proud of about our relationship is how much she's taught me, how much I didn't know, and how much she's been able to show me. And now I have like this huge, like, I really, really nerd out and geek out over queer celebrities.
Me too.
Like I'm wearing, like my favorite is
hey, there we go.
I love Brett, man. I think he's the best influencer on the internet, hands down, point blank, period.
Shout out.
I was talking to a friend on the golf course, no less, about like being around celebrity, because they weren't from LA, you know, being around celebrities and like, who do you see? And like, have you met, you know, this person, that person? Yeah, I met a lot of people, but the people I get most nervous around are drag queens, because I watch a lot of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yep.
And they are celebrities to me. They're celebrities. And I last summer was in the midst of a protest, and I saw one of my favorite queens, and I was like, I know this isn't the time, like, but oh my God. Like I was texting my girlfriend. I was like,
do you mind if I get a picture, please?
Right. It was not the time, but like that was a moment, you know, with all of the emotions being as high as they were in the midst of that protest. I felt like I was on like pure white booger sugar looking at this drag queen. I was like, oh my God. I was like, yo, this is the best day of my life. Oh my Lord.
All right, so that kind of is weird, because my wife and her friend Josh, who I love you, Joshy, they invited me out before me and my wife were like for sure together. We were just like fucking around. They invited me to a show, a drag queen show at this place called Cowfish here in town. And Cowfish is like known to be a gay bar, but I've been there plenty of times because like the drinks are great, people dance, and I don't get fucked with. So it was great to be there just to like get loose and shit like that. So I think I just saw so many strong people, and that was like 4 or 5 years ago. So people who did not care, 6'5" in heels this big, and
can do a death
dropping all that. I was like, like, here, take some money.
Yeah,
y'all can take this money. I don't care about this. But it was just great to see it, and I was like, why is this not more like of a thing? Why is this at Cowfish and not at like the Laughing Cow? Like, I was just, man. And
man.
And then I see, you know, those same queens, and I see them in what I call their costume, which is their everyday life, and they're not as happy. And you can tell that they're not as happy. And I'm like, hey, I saw you at the show. I'm not trying to be weird, but like you killed it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk away now, but you killed it. And then you see that big ass bright smile
Yes.
come. So I'm like, if these people can be themselves all the fucking time, bro, like,
Yes. It's inspiring. It really is.
it
And like,
made me step out and do this.
yeah. Oh, I love that.
Truly.
I love knowing that.
Truly, like, to see them actually be as bold as they were, I was like, who the fuck am I to be a damn scaredy cat, honestly?
Yeah.
Like, I'm scared to talk. Like, they are out here being completely themselves in a world that looks at them different. And I'm afraid to talk on camera. Whatever, get out of here.
I think for anyone who is like on the fence about drag or like isn't really interested or like don't know where to start or whatever, if you even remotely like theater, if you like singing, if you like choreography, if you like talent, if you like comedy, if you I mean, these drag performers do everything from sew their own garments to their own makeup to planning out their entire shows, choreographing their own routines. They are producers at the highest level.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Creators at the highest level. Like, it doesn't get more creative than that to me. So if you are inclined to be attracted to creativity and talent, how are you not watching drag performances?
At least, like,
it just doesn't make sense to me.
Because, well, you want to, I mean, if we're going to be serious about that question, they're just, it's like the two dudes who can't share a bed with each other. We got to put this blanket right here.
Right.
We got to keep the gay away. Like, how stupid do you sound? Just don't try to have sex with me in the middle of the night. Don't go up there and try to fuck the performer, and you're not going to look like you're in love with the performer. Like, you can be in love with the performance.
Yes.
Like, it's just weird. Like, but I love them. I love going to the shows here. COVID kind of messed up a lot of things in our performance area here in town in general, but they were really putting on some goddamn shows, and it was amazing to see.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, man. So I just have like a couple golf questions now, just like some weird ones. What do you play? Like, what are you swinging in your club or in your bag?
My friends at Wilson hooked it up. 90% of my bag is Wilson.
Okay.
I'm hitting the D7 forged irons. I have their high toe wedges, 5660. I have an old Cleveland 52 degree CG10 that I've had since college. I have a Nike putter, a Nike Ignite putter, the same putter that I used in college.
I was like, that's like old school. That's a throwback.
Yeah.
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right. And it's got stains and different colors and stuff all over it, because I would put nail polish in the swoosh, and I would change out the nail polish like every few weeks. But now it's like this, as my grandmother calls it, hussy red. It's got hussy red accents right now.
Oh
wow. I have an R11 TaylorMade 3-wood that I've had since it came out, and you're gonna have to pry that R11 out of my cold dead hands because I love that club.
It's coming with me.
Yeah.
Nice.
And a Wilson Cortex driver. They don't make the Cortex anymore. It was the winner of like this competition show called Driver versus Driver. And it was like literally like engineers and architects would just like try to make golf clubs, try to make the best golf club that they could.
Yeah.
And this was the Cortex was the winning design of a non-golfer, but they just came up with an excellent design. And I love all the gadgets and gadgets on it. I like that I can slide the weight and like adjust the head and like all kinds of stuff.
Okay,
on
I've seen that on YouTube then.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Driver versus Driver. I think it had like 2 seasons, hosted by my friend Rick Shields. Shout out to you, Rick. I have this hybrid from this company called Robin.
Okay.
Robin, I don't know if y'all do podcast ads, but this is damn near gonna be one. Robin make complete sets. They make complete golf sets for less than the cost of like most. If you go get it fitted for a set of clubs, you're gonna spend over $1,000.
Yeah.
But for a full set of clubs for Robin, it's like less than $800. So I did some content with them. They hooked me up with a set, and the hybrid in this Robin set is just like, I'm obsessed with it, and it's in my actual bag. So
nice.
When you come down to LA, like I have a set of clubs for you, but it's going to be without a hybrid because it's in my
you can
bag.
play without a hybrid. It's all
Yeah.
good. Yeah, the LA trip is definitely going down. That's definitely gonna have to happen. Just because I want to be able to get out and play more places now. That I'm like starting to build my golf thing going out. I'm going to AZ to play with. I want to make sure I get an early side golf. Think I'm butchering that, but he put me on to you. I want to get his name right because Jay over at Early Boys Golf Club.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Jay put me on to you.
What's up, Jay?
Yeah, so shout out to Jay, man. He put me on to you. So he was like, man, we got to play Arizona. And I was like, that's perfect because when you're going to Arizona, it's going to be cold as shit here in Oregon. So
yes.
Vacay.
Yeah.
And another question I have for you just before we get up out of here on the golf tip is, what is one golf course that you have played that you love and a place that you want to play in the future?
Recency bias says my favorite course that I've played is Erin Hills in Wisconsin.
Okay.
I've never seen anything like it.
It was driving, beautiful on camera.
Oh, you're driving in the thick of this just like vast farm country, and you see silos and barns and for miles and miles and miles. And then you make one right turn down this dirt path, and then you pull up to this just little hut, and they check you in, and you drive some more through more farmland, and then it just like just opens up into this like golf oasis.
Oh man.
And it is just, it's one of the most gorgeous courses I've ever played. A course I've never played but want to is in my home state of New Jersey, Pine Valley. It's like it's one of those like bucket list courses. It's always ranked at like top 5 in the world, golf courses, bucket list, this and that. I don't really give a damn about what the course looks like. I want to play it for one reason and one reason only.
What was that?
When I was like 4 or 5 years ago. No, longer than that. I was a PT assistant in New Jersey. This was around the time like Uber had just kind of really started its like domination. And I had a patient who was driving Uber, and she was telling me about like all of her experiences and stuff. And she had just come from a ride, and she came in for her treatment, and she was like visibly upset. And this is someone I'd see 3 times a week. So like, I'm like, what's going on? She tells me she had to go pick up a rider at Pine Valley, and she'd never been there before, and she didn't really know where to go. So she kind of, like you who knows what the technology was on back then, but like the pin drop thing wasn't accurate. So she's thinking he's on, the first tee box, but she's got to pull up to the clubhouse. So she gets there, she hops out of her car and goes inside to ask like, hey, like, is there a spot to pick my rider up? Like, I'm here with She like goes through all that. And she is met with such resistance at the front door because Pine Valley doesn't allow women inside the clubhouse. I can only imagine what they would have done to my black ass if I pulled up and wanted to go inside. Pine Valley, New Jersey, physically did not allow her inside the clubhouse. She wasn't there to play. She wasn't there to do anything other than like ask a question. And shooed her away, essentially. So of course I want to play just for the I don't know what I'll do when I get there. Probably like shit in the bathroom and not flush it or something. I want to do something petty over there.
Oh, for sure. Oh, I love your energy, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that energy. That is me all day. Like, okay, so
yeah,
I got you. Believe me, I'm coming back.
Yes, I want to go there, not only because it's in my home state, but to avenge my friend, my patient. And I mean, it's a top 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bucket list course, but we're here to fuck it up course.
Yeah. I don't really give a damn what I shoot on that course. I want to just go and I want to moonwalk and juke and crip walk and all that shit up in their clubhouse, like rub my black ass booty all over their toilet seats.
I love that, dude.
This is for Catherine.
Yeah, I got you, Catherine. Just like a dog just running across the carpet.
Yes,
I fucking love that. Well, man, I appreciate you taking time out of your morning to talk to me. It was amazing. Great conversation. We could talk for forever. So this is the time that I'm creating at this exact moment. This is not something that I wrote down. This is exact moment creation time. Give yourself 30 seconds to a minute to just let people know what you have going on, what you're doing right now, and just like kind of a saying that you live by or that you want to people to know you by. And I'm gonna give you full cam in a second.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, I want you to have. There we go. I'm just gonna stop my video. Get this man full cam right now.
I'm Bradford Wilson. I'm an actor, a filmmaker, golfer. You can find me on the internet at Bradford Wilson Golf. I make a lot of my own content, but I'm really, really passionate about my podcast, Group Golf Therapy. That is an unpacking of the intersection of mental health and golf. And we tackle everything from, you know what? It goes more like this. We don't really care what you shoot. We care about how you're doing. And not a lot of golf publications attack conversations in that manner with that angle. So we're really, really passionate about what we're doing. We recently did a series in Wisconsin, teamed up with Random Golf Club and Chase Sapphire, that is doing really well on YouTube. Check that out. And we're going to be on the road soon. So I'm very, very excited about that. If you watch Golf Channel, you'll see my face all over it for the Win Grips commercial. That is me. And the saying that I live by, my grandfather told me when I did a book report on him in 4th grade: open your ears and shut your mouth.
Hey, we love it here. Thank you guys, man. I appreciate you, man. I am your play partner, host of the Motion Country Cuzzin Sir WinnieDahBish. This is the beautiful Bradford Wilson at Bradford Wilson Golf. You guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.